Hello everybody and welcome to another top 5 board gaming video. As has become tradition, today's topic is all about games that I'm looking forward to. So this means games that either haven't been released and are about to, or games that have relatively recently been released that I simply haven't had time to play. The fact is that we have seen a ton of games getting released, which is wonderful, but there is no way that I am ever going to be able to play all of them, and so that's what these videos have all been about. Not to mention the fact that because we're stuck in quarantine, can't go out anywhere to play with anybody. But of course, as always, I want to know what are the games that you guys are looking forward to and why. Let me know anything and everything in the comments below. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into my January number 5. At number 5, I've got Star Trek Voyager Flux. Flux, for those of you unfamiliar, is a game that is based solely on chaos. You start off with draw a card, play a card, and the idea is that you have goal cards that you need to succeed at. And that can mean any number of things, and there's all sorts of craziness that can happen. A lot of people dislike it, a lot of people love it, and for me personally, it's all about the correct crowd. Same thing with Star Trek Voyager. I am personally a huge fan of the Voyager series. It's probably my second favorite of all of the different Star Treks of various sorts, and I think that it's great as a board game. I think it's great that it's coming out and that it'll have all those fun inside jokes and all that kind of thing. But that said, I know it's definitely not everybody's cup of tea, which is why it's so low on the list. Star Trek Voyager Flux, my number 5. At number 4, I've got Waddle Downtown. This is a game that is very reminiscent of the penguins from Madagascar, where literally you are playing as penguins wandering around downtown trying to see specific sights. Essentially, you have particular cards that show you how you ideally should move, and you're trying to replicate those, and you get to see fancy things in the city and all that kind of thing. It looks like it's really adorable. It looks like it could be really fun with the right crowd, but it seems like it's a little bit lighter, so potentially good, potentially bad, just depending on where you're coming from. Either way, Waddle Downtown seems like it'll be a fun thing, and so it's my number 4. At number 3, I've got Fairytale Inn. This is an interesting one because we have seen Brothers Grimm type fairy tales show up in a lot of different board games in a lot of different contexts. In this particular case, the idea is that you're trying to put the characters into particular rooms where they will do well, and you'll be able to get the most points and the most money because they are comfortable and they're happy and all of that kind of thing. It's interesting though because it's a 1 versus 1 game where the other person is trying to move your guys around so that they don't work very well, like for example putting Red Riding Hood next to the big bad wolf and all of that kind of stuff. So it seems like there's a lot of interesting strategic intrigue there. It seems like it could be a lot of fun, not to mention the fact that it's going to be full of characters that pretty much anybody is going to know. Fairytale Inn, my number 3. At number 2, I've got Anthenium Mystic Library. This is a very fascinating game because it's all about cleaning. That's right, the idea of this game is that you're playing as students who are studying late at night in a library to learn magic, and the only rule is that you have to clean up after yourselves. So the whole point is that you have to put books away in the correct order. It does give me feelings of Biblios and all that kind of thing, not to mention when I was a researcher at a university and had to go to the library constantly to do a bunch of studying and having to find books, put them back, and all that sort of thing. It's just a very unique concept as far as a game is concerned, and it seems really fun. It's got that really neat fantasy feel to it, which I personally love. Anthenium Mystic Library, my number 2. At number 1, I've got Darwin's Journey. As of right now, this game is still on Kickstarter, and it is about the journey that Darwin took through the Galapagos Islands. Now, you guys know I am a sucker for any scientific themed games, much less ones that are about evolution and natural selection and all of that kind of stuff. And this is really about how Darwin went through and made his observations while traveling on the Beagle in order to determine and elucidate his idea of natural selection. And I just love that fact. I love the theming. It looks like it's a wonderfully well-made game. The reviews seem to be really, really good on it. They've got a lot of really top-level reviewers looking at it. but it is still on Kickstarter. I personally have not backed it. I have backed things like Genome and On the Origin of Species and all of this kind of thing, so I'm probably going to end up backing it, but as of right now I haven't, and you yourself can go and check it out so you can see it in the link below. Regardless, Darwin's Journey, my number one. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this video on my top 5 games that I am looking forward to as of January of 2021. So again, these are games where some of them have already been released, others are on the way, but in general, they're just ones that I want to play. I haven't been able to play them, not sure if I ever will, but they just seem really cool. That said, once again, as always, please let me know what you think. What are games that you're looking forward to, whether they've been released or haven't been released? Put them all in the comments below, because you know I love to hear from you. And again, as always, also, if you haven't done so already, please take a look at my social media pages where you can interact and track myself as well as my channel in all sorts of different and fun ways where I announce new videos and do all of that kind of stuff. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.